Wiggle, wiggle.
Like.
Muffins, I have another subscriber request here, actually a couple of them on the same tank, so I'm going to do kind of a combined request. This is on the ST1 or the STI, the tier 9 Russian heavy tank. Very good, very capable, well armored vehicle. I am putting together a tips and tricks playlist. Hopefully, if there's some tank you're struggling with, you can go through here and look to see if it's done, and hopefully that'll help. But shout out to Super Muffin. I was talking to him, and his Royal Fatness has a channel that is putting together how to play tanks, and I recommend highly checking out his channel. But Super Muffin, he had mentioned in his that even though there's these YouTubers and they always upload, it's really good to get different perspectives, and that I think really helped and encouraged me to keep making trips and tips vids for you guys. So shout out to him. So this is the STI. So once again, with the STI, if you saw my IS4 tips and tricks, this one is a little similar because the play style is almost the same in the way both tanks don't really have great gun depression. So this is more of a flat ground tank, meaning you can't put the STI in positions that's going to require it to use really good gun depression, because this tank just doesn't have it. So you'll notice in the replays I'm using a lot more side scraping. I'm using terrain that's more flat and to my advantage, that I can utilize that and then keep the front of my tank pointing toward that enemy. So and the other thing too is that when you're playing with heavy tanks that are much slower, I typically use more of the center of the map because number one, I'm very well armored, so I can be more forward facing and on the front lines. Second of all, if my team ends up spotting the enemy on one side of the map or another, if I'm a super slow tank and I'm all the way clear on the other side of the map and the enemy's on the other one, it's going to take me a lot longer to get into the action. So with a tank like the IS4 or the STI or ST1, I try to put myself in positions that are more center, but I always make sure to keep myself exposed to my team so that if I ever get in trouble, I am well within view range so that they can help me and fire upon enemies if needs be. That is one combination that is really crucial, because you can't just go center and then not have any visibility to your team, because you can really get yourself in trouble. So that was just one. This one will go more through my thought process and what I'm doing, but this is much more of a frontline tank. So here I am, Normandy. I'm going more toward the right because the center, even though you can get yourself in positions, if I were to go more center with this, I can't use those hills, the very steep ones, because once again, the ST just does not have great gun depression. But I can put myself and utilize some of the buildings to side scrape, protect that lower hull, because that's where your weak point is. That's where they're going to shoot, and side scrape and just poke out and shoot and move back behind the building. Now here I was going to go more right, but a lot of the teams going left, and it's beautiful hill, this hill right here on Normandy. I can get some quick snapshots of these mediums that keep trying to push up and then shoot my team down on this left side of the map. And this rock is giving me good cover from any other tank that may try to pop up and shoot me, so it's a really good advantage point. But you can tell I do struggle a little bit with this gun depression, so you can see what I mean when I'm referring to that. Now, I am moving further up because I need to be a little bit more aggressive with this thing. I need to get it in areas that I can use that armor and cause people to shoot and bounce their rounds, and that I know that that's going to happen very confidently because I know my armor. Now here I'm trying to make a couple decisions because we're down, the enemy's down here on the flank. I'm trying to get rid of this Sheridan. I don't want to put myself in too much of an exposed area where I get surrounded by the enemies of fast tanks because they could very easily flank me. The STI or ST1 doesn't have great traverse, so you want to be really careful of that. So I'm now pushing a little bit more because my team really needs help, and that's what you really have to do with the ST is you've really got to be on those front lines. You've got to be putting yourself in a position to use that armor. Now this T92E1 really does put me in a very tough position because he's right behind me, but I'm really wanting to push up on my team over here, but I've got to somehow get rid of him, and I don't really want to chase him. So I try to keep myself on the higher ground, and I'm hoping I can get just a quick snapshot off of him, but I unfortunately don't. He actually makes it, but this is kind of what I was hoping for, that he was going to go more in this direction because I want to try hurting the enemies more in this direction, because if I can keep them all in front of me, that's where I can utilize my strengths. Now here I'm just in a lot of trouble. I'm getting just unloaded on, clipped by this AMX. I'm trying to angle my armor here again, but I just don't quite get it. So, but that's the thing about the ST1 that you have to understand is it's very well armored. You got to protect that lower hull plate. You've got an excellent turret. You want to do side scraping. You don't have very much gun depression. You want to keep it on flatter ground. So hopefully this was helpful. This is the Muffin here. Stay cool and keep tanking.